In the world of music, few names are as famous and celebrated as Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Born on a chilly January day in 1756 in Salzburg, Austria, Mozart's arrival marked the beginning of an incredible musical journey. His father, Leopold Mozart, a well-respected composer and violinist himself, quickly noticed his son's extraordinary gift. From the young age of 4, Mozart showed an almost unbelievable talent for music. Imagine young Mozart, his eyes shining with mischief and curiosity, his mind bursting with melodies waiting to be written. His childhood was far from ordinary as he traveled all over Europe with his family. From the grand courts of Vienna to the luxurious palaces of Paris, Mozart, a true child prodigy, amazed audiences with his incredible talent. Kings and queens were astonished by his abilities, showering him with praise and awards. Behind every great artist, there's a supportive family, and Mozart was no exception. His parents, Leopold and Anna Maria, were his rocks, providing constant love and guidance. Nannerl, his sister, played a crucial role in Mozart's early development. Together they brought their father's compositions to life, their shared love for music strengthening their bond. Picture young Wolfgang, barely 6 years old, setting off on a grand adventure. Along with his family, Mozart embarked on a challenging tour across Europe, his tiny hands ready to conquer the hearts of royalty. From the magnificent halls of Vienna to the opulent palaces of Paris, London and beyond, Mozart's genius echoed through the most prestigious courts of Europe. Every performance was a victory, each city captivated by his extraordinary gift. The constant travel and exposure to different musical styles deeply influenced Mozart's growth as a composer. He began composing at an amazingly young age, creating sonatas, concertos, and even operas. His early works, while influenced by the popular Baroque style of the time, hinted at a unique voice longing to break free. News of Mozart's incredible talent spread like wildfire across Europe. As Mozart grew older, so did his desire for creative independence. He felt restricted by the expectations of his patrons, yearning for the freedom to explore his own musical ideas. His appointment as Concertmeister at the Salzburg court, though a prestigious position, came with its limitations. With each new composition, Mozart moved closer to defining his own distinct voice. By his late 20s, Mozart's fame had reached unimaginable heights. In 1786, Mozart, working with librettist Lorenzo da Ponte, unleashed The Marriage of Figaro. Figaro was a comedy full of witty dialogue and funny situations, but beneath its light-hearted surface lay a rebellious message. The Marriage of Figaro was a triumph, solidifying Mozart's reputation as a composer who could blend entertainment with social commentary. If The Marriage of Figaro showcased Mozart's comedic brilliance, then Don Giovanni, which premiered just a year later, revealed the darker aspects of his genius. Inspired by the legend of Don Juan, Mozart explored themes of love, lust, and redemption. The music is dramatic, reflecting the inner turmoil of its characters. Don Giovanni grapples with complex questions about human nature, the allure of desire, and the consequences of our choices. Mozart's final years were marked by financial difficulties and declining health, yet his creative spirit remained strong. In 1791, he gifted the world with The Magic Flute, a fairy tale opera that would become one of his most beloved works. The Magic Flute tells the story of Tamino, a young prince on a quest to rescue Pamina, helped by a magic flute. Beneath its whimsical surface, the Magic Flute is rich in Masonic themes of enlightenment and the triumph of good over evil. As Mozart's health worsened, a sense of urgency crept into his work. In the summer of 1791, he received a mysterious commission for a requiem, a mass for the dead. Mozart poured his heart and soul into the requiem, but he wouldn't live to see it finished. To this day, Mozart's Requiem remains one of the most powerful and moving pieces of music ever written. While Mozart's musical genius is undeniable, it's easy to forget that behind the extraordinary talent was a real person with his own quirks, relationships, and struggles. Those who knew Mozart personally described him as charming and charismatic, with a quick wit and a fondness for playful banter. Yet beneath this jovial exterior lay a complex and sensitive soul. These contrasting facets of his personality were all part of the tapestry that made up Mozart the man. The lighter side of genius Mozart's playful nature. Despite his genius, Mozart never lost his childlike wonder and love for playful mischief. His letters, filled with puns and silly rhymes, reveal his joy in the simplest things. Known for his infectious laughter and practical jokes, Mozart's playful nature extended to his music. He infused his compositions with humor and whimsy, delighting audiences with unexpected surprises. Love, marriage, and family. Constanze and the Mozart children. In 1782, Mozart married Constanze Weber, a talented singer and the sister of one of his former loves. Their relationship was passionate and tumultuous, marked by both periods of great happiness and moments of strain. Imagine the whirlwind courtship of Wolfgang and Constanze, their shared love for music drawing them together, their letters filled with longing and anticipation. Constanze, often portrayed as a frivolous spendthrift in Mozart biographies, was in reality a devoted wife who supported her husband through thick and thin. She managed their household, often chaotic due to Mozart's erratic income and spending habits, and nursed him through bouts of illness. Imagine Constanze, a pillar of strength and support for Mozart, her love for him unwavering even in the face of financial hardship and his declining health. Together they had 6 children, only 2 of whom survived infancy. Mozart adored his children and found immense joy in fatherhood. He wrote playful songs and pieces for them to play, nurturing their own musical talents. Imagine Mozart, the doting father, teaching his children to play the piano, his laughter mingling with their childish melodies, his love for them evident in every note. The loss of 4 of their children was a devastating blow to both Mozart and Constanze, a reminder of the fragility of life in a time of high infant mortality. While Mozart enjoyed periods of great success and recognition during his lifetime, his career was also marked by financial instability and, in his later years, declining health. Despite his genius and prolific output, Mozart struggled to secure a stable and well-paying position that would provide for his family. Imagine the frustration of a genius like Mozart, his brilliance acknowledged by all, yet struggling to make ends meet, forced to rely on loans and advances to keep his head above water. He was often at the mercy of fickle patrons, his income dependent on their whims and the success of his latest compositions. Imagine the pressure Mozart faced, the constant need to produce new and innovative works, the fear that his creativity might one day wane, leaving him destitute. These financial worries weighed heavily on him, adding to the stress and strain of his already demanding career. As the years progressed, Mozart's health began to deteriorate. The constant travel, late nights composing, and the pressure to maintain his success took a toll on his constitution. Imagine Mozart, his once boundless energy fading, his body weakened by illness, yet his mind still brimming with musical ideas he was desperate to bring to life. Despite these challenges, Mozart continued to compose with astonishing energy and creativity, his spirit undimmed even as his health failed him. Mozart's arrival on the musical scene wasn't merely a noteworthy event, it was a seismic shift that forever altered the landscape of classical music. Imagine the world of music before Mozart, a realm dominated by Baroque conventions, formal structures, and a certain emotional detachment. Mozart, with his intuitive grasp of melody, his daring harmonic shifts, and his ability to infuse music with genuine human emotion, shattered those conventions, ushering in a new era of expressiveness and emotional depth. His operas in particular were revolutionary. Mozart transformed opera from a spectacle primarily for the aristocracy into a powerful form of musical storytelling that resonated with audiences from all walks of life. Imagine the hushed awe in the theatre as audiences experienced the raw emotion of Don Giovanni, the comedic brilliance of The Marriage of Figaro, the enchantment of the magic flute. Mozart's operas weren't just entertainment, they were transformative experiences that elevated opera to an art form capable of exploring the full spectrum of human emotions. He didn't achieve this single-handedly. He built upon the innovations of his predecessors, such as Haydn and Gluck, absorbing their influences and pushing the boundaries further. Imagine Mozart, a sponge for musical knowledge, immersing himself in the works of other composers, studying their techniques, and then transforming those influences into something uniquely his own. His genius lay not just in his originality, but also in his ability to synthesize, to take existing musical ideas and weave them into something breathtakingly new. Section 2. The legacy of a master Mozart's influence on composers across generations. Mozart's influence on the course of classical music is immeasurable. He set a new standard for melodic invention, harmonic daring, and emotional depth that inspired generations of composers who followed in his footsteps. Imagine a young Beethoven, his heart ablaze with musical ambition, poring over Mozart's scores, studying his every note, determined to one day reach such heights of genius. From Beethoven and Schubert to Brahms and beyond, each generation of composers grappled with Mozart's legacy, drawing inspiration from his work while striving to forge their own unique paths. Imagine the concert halls of the 19th century, filled with the echoes of Mozart's influence, his melodies woven into the fabric of countless symphonies, concertos, and operas. But Mozart's influence extends far beyond the realm of classical music. His melodies have found their way into popular songs, film scores, and even jazz improvisations. Imagine hearing a familiar Mozart tune reimagined in a completely different genre, its essence preserved yet transformed, a testament to the universality of his musical language. His music possesses a timeless quality, a purity of expression that transcends cultural and historical boundaries, continuing to resonate with listeners centuries after it was written. Section 3. The enduring allure of Mozart's music in the modern world. Centuries after his death, Mozart's music continues to captivate audiences worldwide. His operas are performed in opera houses from La Scala to the Met, his concertos grace concert halls from Vienna to Tokyo. His symphonies are cherished by orchestras and listeners alike. Imagine stepping into a crowded concert hall, the air alive with anticipation, and then being transported as the first notes of a Mozart symphony fill the space, the familiar melodies resonating with a power that transcends time and language. His music has become so ingrained in our collective consciousness that it's almost impossible to imagine a world without it. We hear it in movies, television shows, commercials, even elevator music, its melodies woven into the fabric of our everyday lives. Imagine a world devoid of Mozart's music, a world stripped of its elegance, its playfulness, its profound emotional depth. What is it about Mozart's music that continues to resonate with such power? Perhaps it's the sheer beauty of his melodies, their effortless flow and elegance. Or maybe it's the way he could convey a world of emotion in a single phrase, his music speaking directly to the heart. Imagine listening to Mozart's music and feeling a profound connection to the composer himself, as if his joy, his sorrow, his very essence were being poured directly into your soul. His music reminds us that even in a world often defined by chaos and uncertainty, there is still beauty, there is still joy, there is still the transcendent power of human creativity. So Section 1, Mozart's Enduring Symphony, a Legacy of Brilliance. Mozart's life, though tragically cut short, was a symphony of extraordinary brilliance. Like a shooting star, he illuminated the world with his genius. Imagine the final chords of a Mozart symphony echoing in a grand concert hall. That is the essence of Mozart's legacy, a profound and enduring beauty. From his early days as a child prodigy to his evolution into a mature composer, Mozart's journey was one of constant innovation. Imagine Mozart, the young prodigy, his fingers dancing across the keyboard, his music already hinting at the genius that would blossom. Then picture him as a mature composer, wrestling with complex harmonies, pushing the boundaries of what music can express. He navigated the complexities of patronage and the financial struggles of his time. Imagine Mozart, torn between his artistic ideals and the need to please his patrons, striving to balance his creative vision with making a living. Yet his passion for music never wavered. He produced a body of work that is as diverse as it is profound, encompassing operas that make us laugh and weep, symphonies that soar with joy and plumb the depths of human emotion, and chamber music that embodies elegance and intimacy. Section 2. A timeless melody, Mozart's gift to the world. Mozart's legacy transcends concert halls, enriching lives globally. His melodies break cultural barriers, becoming a universal language. Imagine hearing Mozart in Vienna, Marrakesh, and Buenos Aires. His music speaks to the soul, adding magic to the mundane. A world without Mozart would lack vibrancy and emotional resonance. His gift is not just music, but inspiration, creativity, and joy. Please like and subscribe for more content.